Hi guys, this is Erika, and in today's video I'm answering a question from you guys. You guys wanted me to talk about robotic affirmations, robotic affirming. But before we start, I just want to remind you that we are giving away a free course called How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. All the details are down below. Also, I am extending my sale. So if you're interested in working with me, I would love to help you. All the details are down below. And also I have a couple of affirmation tracks to manifest your specific person back, to manifest commitment. So if you're interested, those are really good as well. They can just help you speed up the manifestation process because it's all about repetition. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about robotic affirming. And I'm sure you've heard many other people talking about it, but okay, so if you guys are asking me, I'm just gonna give you my personal opinion of what I think about robotic affirming. Does it work? Yes, of course it works. Why does it work? Because what is robotic affirming? Basically it means that you're repeating an affirmation over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Like a robot. And the reason why it works is that repetition, right? And I've said this before. This might be a really short video, by the way. So it works because repetition is the key. Persistence is the key. I believe it's just a thought that you keep thinking is that repetition, right? And let's talk about, it's all about replacing an old subconscious program with what? With the repetition. It's like you're learning something new. And that's why you need the repetition. I've talked about this before, but let's talk about like a different scenario. If you learned how to play the piano when you were little, what did you have to do? You had to take lessons, and I'm sure you had to sit in front of that piano playing and practicing over and over and over again. I don't know how many times a week, right? For you to be really good, for you to learn. So what were you doing there? You were learning something with what? With repetition. I've talked about like me learning how to drive. I'm from Mexico City. In Mexico City, you do not need public transportation. But when I moved here to the US, public transportation, at least in my city, is not that good. So like I had to learn how to drive. And me being older, to me, like it was like I was freaking out. And what did I have to do? Repetition, practice. And then the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm doing. I will freak out, right? What did that repetition do for me? I learned how to do it. And now I don't even remember how I get home. Of course, I'm still careful, but you know what I'm saying? It's like repetition is what makes you learn something. And what we're doing with robotic affirming, you're letting go of an old belief and you're relearning something new. Let's say that your whole life you've told yourself, I am ugly. I'm ugly. I'm just ugly. I'm ugly. And you believe that you are ugly. Maybe if you were like the most beautiful creature in the world. But somehow, some way, like, I don't know, maybe someone when you were little told you you're ugly. Like someone at school or like your brother, your sister, and then you believe that you're ugly, and then you're an adult and you still think you're ugly, even though you're the most beautiful person in the world. So, but for you to relearn a subconscious program, you have to tell yourself, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. And in the beginning, you're not going to really believe it. But what you're doing is replacing that old story of I am ugly. And you are now putting a new subconscious program in your mind of I am beautiful, I am beautiful. Again, in the beginning, you're not going to believe it. It's going to feel fake. But with that repetition, I believe it's just a thought that you keep thinking. All of a sudden, you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh my God, I look kind of good today. Oh, I like how I did my makeup, or I like how I did my hair. Oh, okay, well, I think I look cute. And then people are going to start telling you, oh my God, what did you do? Like, you look amazing. Like, you're so radiant. And then, like, finally, you're gonna really believe it because you persisted in that story. You kept telling yourself the same thing. You kept repeating. You kept robotic affirming, right? So that's what we're doing. We're just letting go of old story, old subconscious program, and we're replacing that with something else. Also, the power of your words. I've said this before as well. Who you say you are, you become, right? I am is the name of God, and who you say you are, you become. Who are you saying that you are right now? Again, to the example of I am ugly, if you kept telling yourself I am ugly, that's what you had to become to yourself. And maybe people will bully you and treat you like you were ugly. But when you tell yourself I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, if you say I am beautiful, you have to become beautiful, and it has to reflect outside. And we can talk about how everyone is being pushed out. So if I was telling myself that I was ugly, everyone had to reflect that story of I am ugly. So maybe at school they will bully you, like, you know, your partners maybe treated you like you were not attractive, or whatever story. They had to reflect that story of I am ugly. But when you replace the program and say, no, I am beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, everyone has to reflect that new story of you are beautiful. You see, everything is just a projection of who I say I am. And to relearn that new story, I have to do the repetition. That's why robotic affirming works. And I mean, you can do the robotic affirming with no emotion. It's gonna work. It's gonna work because it's a repetition. You can also robotic affirm, but like with emotion, like, oh my God, yeah, like you can like feel it, right? Let's say like, I don't know, you can robotic affirm for that specific person to love you and adore you. You can say, they love me, they adore me, they love me, they adore me, they love me, they adore me, like a robot, right? It's going to work because it is that repetition. Also, when you're saying that, you're thought transmitting to that person, and they had to reflect that back to you. They love me, they adore me, right? But also you can add emotion. You can robotic affirm with no emotion. It's gonna work. You can add emotion, like, oh my God, they love me, they adore me, they love me, they adore me, oh my gosh, they love me, they adore me. I personally believe that when you add that, oh my God, and you actually feel it, I believe, but it doesn't have to be your belief. I believe that it's faster. You're convincing your subconscious mind that it is true. Like, oh, we are okay. She seems to be happy, right? That's what I believe, and I've seen evidence that when I fake it, right? Like, oh my God, like it works faster too. But it doesn't have to be. But I mean, try it out. Why not? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Nothing, but you have a lot to gain. Try it out and see what results you get. And I've also talked about, you can be really angry or super sad and crying. Keep affirming. Like, you can affirm with any type of emotions. It's still going to work. It's not the emotion that is manifesting, it's the thought. But again, I personally believe that if you have that strong emotion that you're upset or you're like sad, if you're affirming through that, I feel like it also, like, emotions make things, I don't know, move faster. I'm sure you've noticed that when you are upset, like, oh my God, like, right? The more you're like, let's say traffic. I remember like dating someone, and they always had the assumption that traffic was horrible here, that people in this town, they're horrible drivers. Guess what? That they will experience every single time that they went out. Horrible, right? So what was this person telling himself? Traffic is horrible. No one knows how to drive in this town. He was always upset. He had a lot of emotion. Guess what? They were like every single time that I will be in the car with this person, or even on the phone, because they will call me like, oh my God, I can't, like, we will be talking normal, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? This person was arguing with someone on the road. So, and again, if I was in the car, like, I will see it with my own eyes. But when I was in my own car, driving in the same neighborhoods, I didn't have that experience because I was not telling myself that story. But anyways, going back to my example, right? This person was affirming always with very strong emotion. And guess what? He will see it all the time. All the time, all the time, all the time. So I believe that emotions help you manifest faster. But again, emotion or no emotion, like, you're going to manifest it regardless, because it's the repetition. But, and yeah, I think, and I've talked about this before, so don't be afraid that you're like, oh my gosh, like I reacted to the 3D and I was really upset, and like it doesn't matter. Like you can be upset and use that emotion to affirm the story that you want through the tears, through the anger. So it's okay. It's okay, because I think there's a lot of people that are worried that, oh my God, I was angry or I was sad. Like, is that going to ruin my manifestation? No, it's not. As long as you keep telling yourself the story that you want through those emotions. And even if you had a bad day and you were thinking negatively and you were crying or you were upset, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is now. This is like, you fell off the horse, okay, it's okay. Get up, get back on the horse. It's gonna be okay. So, because the only thing that matters is what I keep telling myself now. But yeah, so robotic affirming works because it is the repetition. And again, it's relearning a new program. We're letting go of old stories, old assumptions, old beliefs that are not serving us, and we're just replacing them with new assumptions, new stories, new beliefs. And for us to do that, we have to do the repetition, because we are trying to impress the subconscious mind, right? We have to go through the conscious mind. The conscious mind is gonna tell you, no, you're not beautiful, if you've been telling yourself you're ugly. But it's the repetition until the mind is gonna be like, oh, well, I guess she is, because she keeps telling me this story. So that's why repetition is important. That's why robotic affirming works. And again, if you tell yourself robotic affirming works for me, guess what? It's gonna work for you. But if you tell yourself, no, it's not gonna work, no, this is fake news, it doesn't work, they're lying, well, guess what? That's what you're going to experience, because it's all about what you are telling yourself. What are you believing in? So, but yeah, robotic affirming works because it is the repetition. And again, like, everyone is being pushed out. If I keep telling myself this, it has to get reflected out there. And it's the persistence, the practice makes perfect, that makes robotic affirming work. So yeah, so tell yourself, and you don't have to do it, because there's people that are like, I just don't like to do it, I feel like a robot. Well, if you don't like doing it, don't do it. It's okay. What is it that you enjoy doing? If you love imagining a scene, then do that. I mean, for me, imagining, it works amazingly. It's crazy how, like, and let's talk about that. When I'm on a time crunch and I want something, or I just, like, maybe it's not a time crunch, but I just want it now. Something that I do besides affirming throughout the day that I already have it. At night, I create this short imaginal scene that represents that I already have it. And what do? I loop the scene over and over. What am I doing? Repetition, right? Let's talk about it again. Repetition. That's where the magic is, the repetition. So I loop that scene over and over and over and over again as I'm falling asleep, right? I'm impressing my subconscious mind, which that's what we want to do. That's why we robotic affirm, to go through the conscious mind, to impress the subconscious mind with the repetition. So with the imaginal scene, what am I doing? Repeating, and I'm falling asleep. And I'm telling you guys, everything that I imagine like that, it happens exactly. And sometimes it's scary. I'm like I'm living something, I'm like, oh wow, like, yeah, I was imagining this, exactly this, they were saying this, they were doing that, and they just did that. So it works. So if you want to try it out. But again, if you don't like robotic affirming, don't do it. What is it that you like to do? You like to imagine. Do you like to sing it? Do you like to draw it? Do you like to record your affirmations on Parrot, on those apps that repeat your affirmations? Do it. Do you like to listen to subliminals? Then do it. What is it that you like to do? Do what you enjoy doing, because this is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to feel like, oh my gosh, I hate doing this, it's so much work. No, it's not supposed to frustrate you. It's supposed to, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for the results, right? So yeah, I hope this answered your questions. I'm intending that it did. Once again, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I would love to help you. The sale is still going, And yeah, all the link is in the description down below. But thank you guys so much for liking, watching, and subscribing. I love you so much. Take your power back. The world is your oyster. Is that what they say? Well, anyways, you can have it all, but just have to remind yourself that you can. Okay? I love you guys. Bye.